Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sally and this is Secret Life of a Seamstress. I hope you all had a really lovely Christmas and Happy New Year. It's about the 8th of January now, so we're a little way into 2021 but still quite early on. I hope you all had a lovely Christmas. Ours was a bit strange in the end. In the UK here we all got put back into some form of lockdown, and just before Christmas we were told that we had to go into tier 4 restrictions, which meant that a lot of our family gatherings and Christmas plans and things that we thought we were going to be able to have didn't actually happen in the end. But never mind, we all stayed safe over Christmas, so I'm really grateful for the family time that we did have, and I hope you had a lovely time too, however you spent it, if you did celebrate Christmas. So today's video is going to be all about my favourite makes of 2020. So you may remember on my community poll I did ask if people would prefer me to talk through all of my 2020 makes or just my favourite makes, and lots of people asked if I would do both videos. But when I sat down and listed everything I made in 2020, I'd actually made 48 things and I can't believe that there was that many things that I made, and I was actually a little bit almost embarrassed about the amount that I've made, but when I went through it all I did realise that they weren't all for me, they were for my children, and some things were for other people as well, and a lot of the things that I'd made were for blogger posts and blogger networks and things like that. And also, of course, sewing massively helped me through lockdown in the summer, spring and summer last year, and it really kind of got me through. It was really good for my mental health, and I know that a lot of my sewing happened while we were in lockdown, and it really gave me something to focus on. But I also feel like my sewing skills improved quite a lot last year, so a lot of the things that I made were new things to me. They involved new skills, so I did learn a lot in 2020 as well. But anyway, that was a long-winded way of me saying that I'm not going to do a full video showing everything I made, because it would be about 2 or 3 hours long, I think, especially because I know that I'll probably start waffling about everything I made and not be able to stop. So in the end I decided that I wouldn't do my 5 favourite makes, I'd actually bump it up a little bit and do my 10 favourite makes. I could have included more things, but I wanted to keep it to quite a low number. So I'm here today to share with you my 10 favourite makes of 2020. So my first favourite make of 2020 was my mirror dress by Fibre Mood. I do have a full blog post to go along with this because this was a Minerva blogger make. So I'll link that below if you're interested in reading my full write-up about this. But this was the first time I'd made the Fibre Mood mirror dress. I'd seen lots of versions online and I absolutely loved the tiered skirt. I really loved the kind of mini smock dress style of it. So I thought I'd give it a go, and I made it with this lovely bubble crepe fabric which was provided by Minerva in exchange for a blog post. And this fabric is really kind of silky. It feels almost like a silk, but it is like a bubble crepe. It was really nice to work with. It sewed fine and it overlocked fine. If I can find this fabric then I'll obviously link it down below. But yeah, I absolutely love this pattern. The only thing I found, it was my first Fibre Mood pattern I'd ever used, and I didn't realise you had to add seam allowances onto the pattern before you cut out. So I accidentally cut out all of my pieces and didn't include a seam allowance, which made my dress turn out quite short. And I didn't actually have enough fabric to add on another tier or anything, so it is a very short mini dress. But for sort of wear with leggings and black tights, it's absolutely fine. And I'll pop a couple of pictures in of everything that I'm talking about just so that you can see it on as well. But yeah, that's my first make, and I've actually used the skirt of this pattern on quite a few things since. And I have added the seam allowance on, so it's a little bit longer. But yeah, absolutely love that pattern, Fibre Mood mirror dress. So next up is a jersey pattern. It's the Agnes top, and this is the first Agnes top I ever made. It's a pattern that I've wanted to make for quite a while, but being quite new to jersey this time last year, I was quite put off by the thin neckband it has and the ruche sleeves. I thought they would be really difficult to make. But one day I think I actually asked for this pattern for Christmas last year, and I had it in my pattern stash for a good few months before I actually had the confidence to try it. But once I did, I realised that actually it wasn't half as bad as I was imagining it might be. It was really lovely and quick and easy to put together. The neckband actually went in fine. I didn't have any issues with it at all, which was really nice. And I think it's just because this scoop neck is quite wide, so it pulls down nicely when it's on, and it's quite a fitted top as well. So I didn't have any issues with the neckband there. The sleeves, I did the ruche sleeve. For my first try, I was very brave and did the ruche sleeve. And that was really easy to do as well. You just gather it with a piece of elastic. So I'm really, really pleased with my first Agnes top. So just in case you haven't seen the Agnes top, I'm sure you have, it's this one. And I've done the version there on the front with the 3/4 sleeves and the gathering and the ruche sleeve. And it's definitely a pattern that I'm glad to have in my pattern stash now, because I know that I'll get lots of use out of this. So third in my top 10 makes of 2020 is this really pretty cami top. This is the Portofino top, and it's by a pattern company or a pattern designer called Apolline Patterns. They're a French designer, French design company. I'm not sure if it's a lady on her own or if it's actually just a pattern company. She's got a separate Instagram account, which I'll link below. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful, her Instagram account. There are so many lovely French patterns, French style. I absolutely love French style. I love how delicate it is. You often get frills on patterns and really delicate sort of touches to French design and French patterns. And I've been looking for a little camisole top like this for quite a while, which buttoned down and had this kind of ruffle around here, because I was actually inspired to make something like this by a top I'd seen on the Suzanne website. But it was quite pricey, so I really wanted to make my own, and came across this pattern by Apolline Patterns and thought it would be perfect. So really this was my wearable twirl of this pattern, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. This is made from a viscose, I think it is, but it's really silky. This was from Stop and Still. I got this quite a while ago, so I doubt they'll have any in stock now, but it's really lovely and silky. This top is actually fully lined, so it feels really kind of luxurious, especially in this silky fabric. It's actually quite weighty, and I really love how this has turned out. And as you can see there, I've done little self-covered buttons as well, which I thought just gave a really nice touch to the delicate top that this is. And as I say, this is a wearable twirl, and I made this quite towards the end of the summer because just because of how and when I found the pattern. So I think this summer coming, I'm definitely going to make a few more of these. I'd really like a white or a cream crepe version of this, because I think that will just go with everything. Yeah, love this top. I will link it down below so that you can go and have a look yourself if you want to. So number 4 make is my Sapphire wrap jumpsuit that I made. So this was a kind of hack on the Sapphire playsuit from the Tilly and the Buttons Make It Simple book. So I made the top half of the playsuit pattern, and then I just lengthened the shorts down to make a culotte length playsuit. And I absolutely love how this has turned out. I much prefer culotte length as a playsuit or a jumpsuit than I do to shorts for just wearing normally. I think on holiday I'd probably wear a shorts version of a playsuit more, but in the summer I just love a culotte length jumpsuit, and it's so comfortable to wear. And it's pretty easy to get on and off as well. I know when I've posted this on Instagram, people have asked me how it is to get on and off. It's actually not too bad. The only opening there is the wrap, so you do have to kind of get it off of your shoulders and pull it down. I put a little popper at the front here because I did find on me it gaped open quite a lot. I think if you were bigger up top, you wouldn't have that problem, but since I'm not, I needed to put a little popper there just so that I wasn't flashing. But yeah, really, really pleased with this. It was super simple to make and a really quick and easy hack to do. And I just feel like it gives it a bit more of a dressy feel as well. So you could easily wear this out, probably even for a wedding or something, if you put some heels or sandals on, or equally you could wear it with a pair of trainers, which I've done. I did that last summer quite a lot, and I've worn it with my sandals as well, and it's just been such a lovely wardrobe staple. So that's my Sapphire wrap playsuit jumpsuit hack. Next on the list of my favourite makes is my Darling Ranges dress, which I made sleeveless in this beautiful embroidered chambray fabric with the embroidered hem. So this was, it's not really a hack at all, but the pattern doesn't actually tell you how to make the dress sleeveless. So all I did was just omit the sleeve obviously and take in the shoulder seam slightly just so that it looks a bit better when you're wearing it. It was just taking a centimetre the shoulder and grade it down to the armhole just to give it a bit more of a sleeveless kind of look really, and then I've used the embroidered edge, which is actually the selvage of the fabric bolt, so you do change the direction of the fabric doing this. This is like the selvage edge that it would run down on the fabric bolt, but I've used it going downwards, if that makes sense. All the technical terms here, but yeah, and I really love how this turned out. I did film this as a sew along actually, so if you're interested to watch me making this dress, I'll link it down below. I have it as a separate YouTube video. But yeah, I just really love how this turned out. I think the Darling Range's dress in a chambray fabric is just a classic anyway, but having this embroidered edge just gives it a little something else, and I'm really pleased with how that turned out. Just to show you the pattern cover if you haven't seen it already, that's the pattern. And then there are quite a few different versions on the back there that you can do. So there isn't actually a sleeveless option that comes with the pattern, but it's easy enough to make that sleeveless hack. And if you want to know how I did that, then do watch my video down below. I've forgotten what number I'm on now, but this is my next favourite make. It's the Sew Over It Eve dress, which I made in this beautiful orange viscose fabric, and I love this fabric because of the clashing colours in it. So you can see it's got like a neon pink and a neon green, which just kind of clash beautifully with the orange there. And I just really, this fabric is quite different for me. It's not something I'd normally go for, but I was really attracted to this on the Minerva website. So I got myself about 3 meters of it, didn't know what to make with it for a little while, and then decided it would make a lovely Eve dress. So that's what I went for. And I've just made a short straight sleeve. So I've just used the 3/4 sleeve pattern and just shortened it to be a short sleeve. Originally I was going to go for the kind of floaty sleeve, but I thought that might be a bit overpowering in this fabric. So just for a bit more of an understated look, I went for the straight sleeve. And I really love this dress. I love how it's turned out. I've made it just below my knee, so it's kind of not midi or mini, it's just sort of the right length, if you know what I mean. I haven't actually worn this out yet because I just haven't had the occasion really, but hopefully if we get to go out this summer I'll get lots of wear out of this because I do really love it. And just in case you need to see the pattern, that's the Sew Over It Eve dress. My next favourite is this lovely Sudley blouse, which I made from another embroidered bottom fabric. I'm not sure if I mentioned actually that both of my embroidered cottons were from Higgs and Higgs. If they've got any, obviously I'll link it below. I'm not sure if they will have. I brought this back in the summer now. But yeah, it's a really pretty fabric. You can see hopefully there on the camera the embroidered selvage of the fabric. So again, I've just cut the fabric the other way up. Cut the pattern, sorry, the other way up so that the embroidered selvage can be used as the hem of the top. And that worked really well, and this was a super quick and easy thing to make because obviously with the embroidered bottom you don't have to turn the hem up, so that's one step less in your pattern. So I'm really pleased with how this turned out. So I went for just the basic top version of the Sudley pattern. This is the Sudley dress pattern. So you can make this top as a dress, baby doll dress, or you can just have it as a t-shirt top with a tie, keyhole tie, and you can actually have the keyhole tie at the front or the back. So it's a really kind of adaptable pattern, and I really love this. I've used it a lot, dress versions and top versions. And as you can see, I've just used a really narrow binding to tie up the keyhole. I'm really pleased with this. I've worn it quite a lot already, and it's one of my most popular posts on Instagram, I think. Lots of people have commented on this and said they really liked it, and it's funny because it was probably one of my quickest and easiest makes, but sometimes I think it just depends on the fabric you use. And sometimes with such a pretty fabric you just need a really simple pattern to show it off, don't you? So I'm really pleased that I went for that pattern. So now I'm on to a couple of makes that I made towards the end of 2020. So if you've been watching my videos you may have seen these quite recently in my makes video, so apologies that I'll be talking about them again. But one of my most favourite makes ever, I think, is this Socialist Dress. So this is a Socialist Dress by Deer and Doe, and I've used this lovely, I think it's a viscose again from Stop and Still, but it's really kind of silky. It almost feels like a tencel fabric, you know, that sort of smooth feeling. I don't think it is, but that's what it feels like to me. It's got like a smooth drapey feeling to it, with a really cute apple print on it. So this was the first Socialist Dress that I ever made. I don't know why it took me so long to get around to making this pattern because I absolutely love it now. But anyway, I got on with it and I made this dress, and I just changed the skirt slightly so that it's got a tiered skirt rather than the skirt and the frill, just because I preferred that look. And I think I actually used, no I didn't, I did use the pattern from the Socialist pattern. I was going to say I used the Fibre Mood mirror skirt, but I didn't, I used that for something else. But yeah, I used the pattern from the Socialist pattern. The pattern from the Socialist pattern. It's been a long morning. And I just cut the skirt in half and made the tiers the same length. So I hope you can see that on the camera. I'll obviously put some photos in of me wearing too. But this, yeah, definitely one of my favourite makes. And since then I've also made a long sleeve version as well, and I can see many more versions of this on the horizon for me. So this is the Socialist Dress pattern, just in case you haven't seen it before. It's a very popular pattern. I know there are so many versions around online, on Instagram. I absolutely love it. There's the back, just so that you can see the line drawings there. I can just see so many versions of this in my head, like a maxi version, or you could even take the bodice and put it on some trousers like the Sapphire suit. So many options. This is why I end up making so many things in the year, because I have so many ideas. So last but one in my favourite makes of 2020 has to be this Sagebrush top hat. So you may have heard me talk about how I did this hack in my previous makes video, so I won't go on too much about them. It's basically a hack of the Sagebrush top, bodice shortened, and then I've added on the sleeves of the Fibre Mood normal blouse, and I've made that twice now. So one in this floral crepe fabric and one in this gingham fabric. And I love them both so much. I really like this hack. I love the Sagebrush top as a pattern, but I'm not too keen on the big sleeves. So I wanted a sleeve that was still kind of puffy, but didn't have so much volume at the top, even though I'm wearing a very voluminous sweatshirt here today. So I obviously do like a bit of volume, but I think just with the Sagebrush top, I just wanted a longer sleeve basically, because it was coming up to autumn winter and I thought I would wear them more that way. So yeah, I really love this. I will link my blog post about how I did the hack down below if you're interested. And I do talk about this gingham version in my most recent makes video. This gingham is lovely. It was from Stop and Still. It's just a kind of cotton seersucker gingham fabric, and it's really crinkly and pretty. And it worked really well sewing this pattern from it, because it was quite stable to sew with and a little bit less slippy than a viscose was. So I'm really pleased with this hack. I'm so pleased with this make. Yeah, and so obviously it had to be included in my top 10. So my 10th and final favourite make of 2020 has to be what I'm wearing, and it's my Philly sweatshirt by Tilly and the Buttons. I do have a whole other sew along video of me making this sweatshirt, so if you're interested I'll link it down below. It's a lovely pattern. I wasn't quite sure about the sleeves when I first started to wear this sweatshirt, because I've used a bulky fleece back sweatshirt. They do stick out quite a lot, but the more I've worn it, the more I kind of am now used to this puffy feeling and I really like this jumper now, so I'll definitely be making more of those in the future. And I just love how I'm more confident with jersey and knit fabrics this year. I've tried out quite a few knit fabric patterns, and I really like that I'm able now to sew knit makes for my wardrobe, because I think they're definitely what I wear more. Even though I enjoy sewing dresses and I love using pretty fabrics and cottons and viscoses, they're definitely what I don't wear as much, definitely not in the winter anyway. So I'm really pleased that I'm getting more knit makes in my wardrobe and more comfy cozy things, and it's definitely something that I want to work on more in 2021, making more cozy makes and more of the things that I kind of reach for on a day-to-day basis, especially since we're in lockdown again now. So yeah, it's really nice to have some cozy me-made things in my wardrobe. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing my 10 favourite makes from 2020. It was really fun actually to go back through and see all of the things that I made and realise how much there was actually. It was quite shocking. But yeah, I'm really pleased with all of the things that I made, and I'm really pleased with how my sewing journey has kind of grown in the last year. So do let me know in the comments below what you've most enjoyed making and wearing in 2020. I'd love to know. It's always good for inspiration to see what other people have liked to sew and what other people like to wear. So I'd love to know what your favourite makes have been too. I'm hoping to be able to keep up with these videos, hopefully weekly. We're back to homeschooling again because we're all in lockdown, so I'm going to see how it goes. But I'm planning to record a fabric haul video. I brought some fabrics in the January sales, so I'd love to share those with you, and I'm hoping to film that for next week. So fingers crossed I might get to do that. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you're doing. I'd love you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. Bye!